In the trenches of the Great War, men faced unimaginable horrors. The battlefield was a place where death clung to the air like a heavy fog. Disease spread faster than the bullets, claiming lives one after another. But these were merely the lesser plagues. They were nothing compared to the most dreaded affliction to ever emerge from the depths of hell, the Black Grail. The Black Grail was unlike anything that had ever been seen before, a curse that spread from the very bowels of the seventh layer of hell. It wasn't just a plague, it was a tidal wave of rot and death, a force of nature so pure in its malevolence that it was beyond human understanding. Beelzebub, the lord of the flies, stood apart from the other lords of hell. While the others manipulated mortal servants, Beelzebub wielded his power directly. When he rose to supremacy, when his dominance over the infernal ranks was secure, he sent forth the Black Grail, a force of pure corruption, to ravage the world of man. Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, is a being of unimaginable horror. His realm in the seventh circle of hell is a fortress of decay and pestilence, a place where the very air is thick with filth and suffering. When the power struggles among the archfiends settle in his favor, he uses his victory to unleash the Black Grail. It is not a disease of mere mortals, but a weapon of pure destruction, infused with the essence of hell itself. From the Hellgate, a torrent of demonic flies, locusts, scorpions, and other infernal insects spills out, flooding the land with unimaginable speed. The skies darken, as though the very heavens themselves are sickened by the presence of such a plague. It sweeps across the land, consuming everything in its path, leaving nothing but death and disfigurement in its wake. For 9 days, the insects swarm without mercy, devouring all that they touch. And when their hunger is sated, when the last of their victims is consumed, the insects turn on each other, devouring their own in a twisted, insatiable frenzy. The Black Grail does not simply kill, it mutates, it corrupts, it transforms every living thing it touches into something worse than death itself. The body is destroyed, but the mind remains trapped in the ruins of a flesh that is no longer its own, writhing in agony for eternity. The victims of the Black Grail are not granted the mercy of a swift death. The afflicted are transformed into vessels of corruption. Their bodies swell with tumors and boils, their flesh turning to a sickening, pus-filled mass. Pustules burst forth, oozing foul fluids as their bodies are consumed from within, but their minds remain intact. They are aware of every agonizing second as their bodies melt and warp, yet they are powerless to escape their torment. Wherever the Black Grail spreads, entire villages and towns fall to this horrible fate. What were once thriving communities become nothing more than pools of liquefied flesh, quivering masses of human misery. The infected scream, their pain endless. But there is no escape. Death would be a mercy, but the Black Grail offers no mercy. Instead, it leaves its victims to suffer for as long as their corrupted bodies will endure, before they are forced to rise again as something worse than human, something worse than dead. Amidst the wretched nobility of the Black Grail stands a figure so twisted, so grotesque, that even the other warlords of hell shudder at the sight of them. The Lord of Tumors. This high-ranking officiant in the cult of the Black Grail is no mere mortal, but a creature formed by Beelzebub's darkest gifts. Their body is a mass of bubbling, festering growths, tumors that pulse with a sickly, unnatural life. They are both servant and conduit of the Lord of the Flies, tasked with spreading his corruption far and wide. The Lord of Tumors does not merely command the plague. They are the very embodiment of it. Their every breath is a whisper of disease, their touch a blessing of decay. They walk through cities and towns, their very presence warping the air around them. Everywhere they go, boils and sores erupt, the flesh of those unlucky enough to be near them crumbling under the weight of the Black Grail. In a trance-like ecstasy, the Lord of Tumors communes directly with Beelzebub, channeling the power of the seventh circle of hell itself. In moments of extreme focus, they can summon forth the very essence of hell's horrors, their body becoming a vessel of pure, infectious evil. This power flows through them, warping reality itself. With every incantation, every prayer to their dark master, the world around them is infected, festering with the Lord's demonic influence. Their every step, their every word, is a blight upon the land, a spreading darkness that turns friend and foe alike into carriers of the plague. Not all who are touched by the Black Grail become mindless husks. Some are twisted enough to embrace the plague willingly, finding a perverse devotion in the corruption that Beelzebub offers. These mortals are inducted into the Order of the Fly, a cadre of the most depraved, twisted individuals who serve as the Knights of the Black Grail. The Plague Knights are a terrifying sight. They retain their intelligence, their memories of who they once were, but their humanity is gone. They have surrendered themselves fully to the will of Beelzebub, and in return, they are granted power. Their bodies are altered, their skin twisted and warped into something resembling a grotesque mockery of their former selves. They are no longer human, but neither are they fully insect. They have become something else entirely. The Plague Knights lead the warbands of the Black Grail, guiding them through isolated villages, spreading the corruption wherever they go. These warbands are relentless, seeking out the last pockets of life to infect and consume. They are driven by a singular purpose: to earn the favor of Beelzebub, to become more than what they are, to climb the ranks of the Black Grail until they are granted even greater power. In the twisted hierarchy of the Black Grail, only the strongest devotees are chosen to serve as the bodyguards of the plague's nobility. These devotees are inducted into the ranks of the Corpse Guard, a cadre of warriors who have survived the horrors of the Black Grail and become something more, something less. They are no longer human in the truest sense. Their bodies are bloated, scarred, and corrupted, but their minds remain sharp, their will unbroken. The Corpse Guard are unwavering in their loyalty, guarding the twisted nobles of the Black Grail with a fervor that borders on fanaticism. Their armor is fused to their skin, grotesquely altering their forms into monstrous shapes, each one a reflection of their devotion to the Lord of the Flies. They serve as the last line of defense, standing firm against any who would dare threaten the Plague Knights and their unholy masters. Though they are made to suffer, their suffering is not in vain. Those who serve with distinction, who prove themselves in the name of Beelzebub, may one day ascend to the ranks of the infernal nobility. But to do so, they must forsake all humanity, becoming ever more inhuman with each passing trial. To join the nobles of the Black Grail is to become a true abomination, neither alive nor dead, but something far worse. The worst fate that can befall a victim of the Black Grail is not simply becoming one of the walking dead. There are those who are chosen by Beelzebub himself for a far darker purpose. These victims are melded with the hell flies, their bodies becoming grotesque, bloated insects, wings sprouting from their backs as they take to the skies. They are the heralds of Beelzebub, winged scouts and squires in the unholy army of the Fly. The heralds are a horrific sight to behold. Their human forms are still present beneath the grotesque insectoid mutations, and they remain aware of their twisted existence. Their bodies are slowly eaten from the inside by the very creatures they serve. But they are bound to the will of Beelzebub, forced to fight in his name, even as their flesh deteriorates. These abominations are the vanguard of the Black Grail. They are the first to strike, the first to break the will of the living with the ear-piercing drone of their wings. As they soar above the battlefield, they send waves of terror into the hearts of those below, their presence enough to unravel the resolve of even the most steadfast soldiers. The heralds carry weapons twisted and corrupted by the influence of hell, blighted firearms that fire diseased bullets, each shot carrying its own sentience. These cursed projectiles find the smallest chink in armor, burrowing into the nervous system and liquefying organs from within. No army of the Black Grail would be complete without the Hounds, parasitic, bloated carcasses of once loyal canines, now twisted beyond recognition. These creatures are birthed from the body of Beelzebub himself, their forms infested with maggots and flies, their once noble instincts replaced with an insatiable hunger for corruption. The Hounds are not simply beasts, they are a plague in their own right, prowling the desolate wastelands of no man's land, spreading pestilence wherever they roam. The Hounds are unholy creatures, their bodies bloated and leaking with pus and filth, their mouths dripping with foul, infected saliva. Their skin is thin and stretched, revealing the bones beneath, and their eyes burn with the fiery madness of their demonic masters. Though they move with the agility of any predator, they are far from natural. Each one carries the seed of Beelzebub's corruption within them, spreading disease and death with every step they take. Their mission is simple: to infect, to destroy, and to spread the Black Grail wherever they go. These creatures are often sent ahead of the Black Grail's forces, their unholy howls striking terror into the hearts of any who hear them. As they prowl through the night, they spread disease through every crevice of the battlefield, leaving behind a wake of suffering that only grows with each passing hour. The Hounds of the Black Grail are an embodiment of the plague itself, relentless, unstoppable, and ever hungry. For those unfortunate enough to survive the Black Grail, there is no true escape. The cursed infection changes them, warping them into Grail thralls or fly thralls. The Grail thralls are little more than hollow shells, creatures with bodies that are impervious to pain, their minds shattered by the horrors they have endured. The fly thralls are controlled by the gargantuan hellflies that have burrowed deep into their nervous systems, allowing the flies to control their every movement. These thralls exist solely to serve the Black Grail, spreading its corruption wherever they go. But the worst horror of all is the amalgam. These abominations are masses of infected flesh, human, animal, insect, all twisted together into one monstrous being. The amalgams are mindless creatures, driven only by their instinct to destroy, to consume, and to spread the plague of the Black Grail. Their hulking forms trample over everything in their path, crushing everything underfoot as they shamble across the battlefield. The Black Grail is a curse that has no end. It spreads without mercy, without rest. And for those who survive, there is no hope. The plague will find them. It will consume them. And in the end, it will turn them into something worse than death, something far worse.